Imagine an empire so powerful it ruled most of the known world for over 1,000 years. Ancient Rome gave us incredible buildings, roads, laws, and even our calendar. From mighty gladiators to brilliant engineers, and powerful emperors to everyday citizens, ancient Rome was one of history's greatest civilizations. Ready to explore? Let's go! Hello, young historians, and welcome. Today, we're traveling back in time to discover how the incredible Roman Empire shaped our modern world. From gladiators to aqueducts, and emperors to everyday life, get ready for an epic journey. Ancient Rome started as a small city in Italy way back in 753 BCE. Legend says it was founded by twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, who were raised by a she-wolf. Romulus became the first of 7 kings who ruled Rome for about 250 years. Then, in 509 BCE, the Romans created a republic, where citizens elected leaders called senators. This lasted for nearly 500 years. Finally, starting with Emperor Augustus, Rome became a mighty empire. At its peak, the Roman Empire covered 2 million square miles and was home to 70 million people. That's a civilization that lasted over 1,000 years. Now, let's talk about one of Rome's most famous structures, the Colosseum. This massive amphitheater could hold up to 80,000 spectators, which is bigger than most modern stadiums. And what happened there? Gladiator fights. Gladiators were trained fighters who battled each other or wild animals. Some were slaves, but others fought for glory and money. There were many types, like the Murmillo with his fish-shaped helmet, or the Retiarius, who fought with a net and trident. But not every fight ended in death. Historians now think a hidden thumb meant mercy. The Colosseum also hosted mock sea battles and animal hunts, and it still stands today as a symbol of Roman power. The Romans were also brilliant engineers. They built over 250 miles of aqueducts, these amazing stone channels that carried fresh water from mountains right into the cities for public baths and fountains. Some of these are still standing after 2,000 years. They also built over 250,000 miles of sophisticated roads made of stone and gravel. The saying, "all roads lead to Rome," was literally true. And get this, they invented concrete, which let them build huge structures like the Pantheon, a temple with the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome that you can still visit today. Rome had many powerful leaders, but let's meet the most famous. First, Julius Caesar. He was a military genius who conquered Gaul, which is modern-day France, and he even reformed our calendar. His famous quote was, "Veni, vidi, vici, I came, I saw, I conquered." After him came his adopted son, Augustus, the very first Roman emperor. He brought a long period of peace and famously said he found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble. Of course, not all emperors were great. Nero was known for being cruel, and legend says he played music while Rome burned, though that's probably not true. The Roman army was the most powerful military force in the ancient world. A legion had about 5,000 soldiers, called legionaries. They were incredibly well-trained and disciplined. Soldiers could march 20 miles in 5 hours, carrying 60 pounds of gear. They used a short sword called a gladius and a large rectangular shield called a scutum. They fought in amazing formations, like the testudo or tortoise, where they held their shields overhead to create a protective shell. Their success came from teamwork and training, and their tactics are still studied in military schools today. So, what was daily life like? Well, society was divided. The rich patricians held power, while the plebeians were the common citizens. Sadly, about 30% of the population were slaves. The rich lived in beautiful homes called a domus, while the poor lived in crowded apartment buildings. For fun, Romans went to the Forum, which was the heart of the city, to shop, talk politics, and meet friends. And they loved the public baths. These were huge social centers with hot and cold pools, gyms, and even libraries. Romans believed in many gods and goddesses, much like the ancient Greeks, but with Roman names. Jupiter was the king of the gods, Mars was the god of war, and Venus was the goddess of love. They built magnificent temples to honor them, like the Pantheon. Later, around 313 CE, Emperor Constantine made Christianity legal, and it eventually became the official religion of the empire. When it came to entertainment, Romans loved chariot racing even more than gladiator fights. The races happened at the Circus Maximus, a massive stadium that could hold 250,000 people. Charioteers were celebrities, and fans supported teams of different colors, just like modern sports teams. Romans also enjoyed plays, board games, and had about 130 public holidays a year filled with festivals and feasts. The language of the Romans was Latin, and it changed the world. Modern languages like Italian, French, and Spanish all come from Latin. In fact, about 60% of English words have Latin roots, like science, justice, and history. We also still use Roman numerals for things like Super Bowl numbers and on clock faces. After 1,000 years of power, the mighty empire eventually fell. It had become too big to manage, faced economic problems, and was constantly attacked by outside tribes. In 285 CE, the empire split in two, and in 476 CE, the last Western Roman emperor was overthrown. But while the empire fell, its legacy lived on. Ancient Rome's influence is everywhere today. Our republican form of government, our legal systems, our architecture with its arches and domes, and even our calendar are all gifts from the Romans. Every time you walk on concrete, use words from Latin, or see a building with grand columns, you're experiencing the lasting legacy of Rome. Today, we discovered how ancient Rome built the Colosseum, engineered mighty aqueducts, created the Republic, and spread the Latin language. We learned about gladiators and emperors, powerful armies, and daily life. Even though Rome fell over 1,500 years ago, we still live with its ideas every single day. Which part of ancient Rome amazed you the most? Ask your parents to leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome history adventures. And hit that like button if you loved learning about ancient Rome. Thanks for watching, young historians.